We are live. Okay, what the fuck going on? On this, I guess I would say weeks, but I took a big ass break. On this episode of De.Compression, we have the homie Sav or HVDES on here.
What's up?
She is a bass music artist on fucking Kannibalen and now, can I say the next one?
Yeah.
And Mousetrap. And yeah, she kills it. So without further ado, we're going to be shooting the shit. So here we go.
Thanks for the introduction.
Totally. All right. So yeah, fucking Mousetrap. Tell me about it.
So I honestly never thought my music would like fit well on Mousetrap, like, cause, I mean, I started off making like house shit, like.
Continue with that. I gotta turn off this fan.
Okay, but I started off making like house, like G house stuff, like back in, I don't know, 2013, 2014.
Right.
And because I loved like Bijou and Dr. Fresh and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then I always like had this love for bass music, like really heavy bass music, but I don't feel like I wasn't skilled enough at the time to like be able to execute it.
Okay.
And I would always try to make like drum and bass or dubstep or whatever, and it would just suck ass. Like it was just literally so bad. But I was good at making house music, and I loved bass music, so I was like, okay, well, electro is kind of like in the middle of that, you know what I mean? So it's like still has those like heavy bass music elements, but it's still like got the groove kind of centered vibe of house. Yeah. And so like I remember my song Fuck My Nose Up, when I was making that, it was started out as like this house track, and it was like super chill house vibes. And then one day I was just like, well, I wonder what would happen if I just like turned the distortion like all the way up, you know? And then I did, and it was completely changed like the entire vibe of the song, and then it turned into like what it was. And so, but then my music got like really heavy from that point, and I feel like, I don't know, I always loved Mousetrap. Deadmau5 is my #1 inspiration in the entire fucking universe. I love him so much.
Yeah, he's dope.
But I just never really saw my music fitting on the label. And then they reached out to me like, I think it was beginning of last year, and they were just like, yo, we love your music, like we really want to release some of it. And I was like, hell yeah. So I just kind of started, I did 2 releases with them. I did one on the We Are Friends compilation, like not December as in like a month ago, but the last December.
Yeah. And
then I did another one with the Insomniac Mousetrap compilation in like, I think it was September. And yeah, now we're doing the EP, and
fuck yeah,
it's gonna be sick. Yeah. I'm excited.
Your shit reminds me of Nero.
Nero?
Yeah, like a lot.
Yeah, Nero's fucking sick, dude. Like I'd say like my biggest inspirations are like Justice, Nero, Boys Noise, Wolfgang Gardner, Bloody Beetroots, stuff like that. Because I just love that like old school electro, complextro type thing. But I also love like Stoffelsteen and like the slower kind of vibe to that. Yeah. So a lot of my stuff is like not technically electro, because Francis Durrell gets mad at me all the time for saying that my music is electro, because it's technically not 120 BPM all the time. Yeah. But it's not, but it's like I still consider it like maybe like mid-tempo electro, because it's like 110, 115, but whatever. I mean, it has the vibe of electro, so I call it electro, you know?
No, I fuck with that. I think that's like also a broad spectrum. Like when I first heard the term electro, I was talking about Justice. And like Justice's cross album is like a lot of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're definitely very wide.
I'm going 100% on the sign. I mean, you cannot see that shit in the shot at all, but it's good for lighting.
That's dope. I like that.
Lighting. I'm gonna run it.
Can you make it a different color?
No, I bought blue.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not even blue.
It's like teal, I guess.
That's white.
Well, I don't know. At 25, it's like a green blue.
That's literally just soft white now.
Well, green. Blue,
it's not
soft
green.
White. I don't know.
It's definitely white.
Okay, let's just say they botched it.
Okay.
They botched it. Fucking Etsy manufacturer. But yeah, that's dope. I think the very first things I heard from you were like, to me, they sounded electro. Like I was like, yeah, I like that shit a lot. I heard your the tune with Crimson Child when like that album was still being worked on, and I was like, yo, this is like the best tune on here.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a standout for me.
Yeah, that one was a fun one to make. That was the first one I recorded vocals on. And
that was the first song ever you recorded vocals on?
Well, no, I mean, like, my dad's a singer, and I, like, grew up, you know, singing here and there. I never really got too into it because I have a lot of respect for singers as, like, real singers, because my dad's, like, a full-on, like, singer.
Yeah.
And I mean, I definitely understand songwriting, and I can like hold a pitch and make my voice sound good in processing, but I'm not like, I don't like claim to be a fucking singer, but
I'm awful at singing. I'm terrible at like I could same shit. Like I can make my voice sound good.
Yeah.
On the song, but every single time I try to track vocals, I miss the mark.
No, I feel you too. And then I just start to hate myself, and I'm just like, why can't I sound like fucking Christina Aguilera right now? Like, what the fuck? But yeah, no, I recorded. It was weird because we had that song that was like pretty much done, and there was no vocals on it, and just that intro is like so dark and like melodic, and the drop is so heavy that I was like, fuck, like this needs like some sort of a vocal hook, because I noticed with Fuck My Nose Up, and what I also noticed about like a lot of really dope bass music that gets like overlooked is because there's no like hook line, whether it's like a spoken word thing or some sort of like vocal sample that's like sticks out, that stands out and gives it some sort of depth and like makes it interesting above everything else.
Yes.
You know, and I feel like
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, so I feel like I had been doing that a little bit with like, you know, if I did a remix, I would take like a vocal sample from the original song, or like you know, with Fuck My Nose Up, I just, like, made that and recorded that from my iPhone, but, like...
Fire.
Yeah, I just one day, because I don't feel like... I don't even want to get into the backstory of where that came from, but, yeah, so I think that those kinds of things give a song depth, and that's, like, really important because it's so oversaturated with, like, just shit in bass music, and there's so much of it that it's like if I can't like, if there's no like tagline or something to help me latch onto the song, I'm gonna forget about it. You know what I mean?
Totally. I mean, I think people have made every kind of fucking synth. Honestly, like don't get me wrong, that just sound design is limitless and all that. Like I'm constantly impressed by people like Moody Good and shit, but
oh yeah, he's amazing.
For the most part, like they made all the noises. And so, like, I think beyond that, like, if your shit doesn't have, like, an idea, like, a real idea, like, this is the bit behind the song, you kind of just got the same, it's like listening to, like, a guitar solo.
Right.
That's fire, and, like, it's incredible when you can do that, but it's, like, that just sounds out of context of some shit.
Yeah, and another thing, too, that I feel like is important to note is that, like, I think that so many producers now, especially like in EDM or in bass music or any sort of like sound design kind of oriented music, they take for granted the importance of like songwriting and like having a strong idea with like with a hook and something that draws you in and something that's like relatable and understandable and easily digestible. And I think that like, because if you go back, if you go back to like fucking Beethoven and Mozart and all that shit, like they didn't have fucking Serum or Massive, like they're just playing on fucking harpsichords and pianos and shit, you know what I mean? And like, but yet those like sonatas and those fucking like pieces they translate generationally because of the fact that like, you know, they're tapping into something that's relatable and that and something that's more than just like a sound. Because a sound like if you can make a cool sound, that's cool, but it's not going to make you a good song. Right, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Yeah,
but
I totally agree. I think just with every single one of my songs, I mean, like once the beat is there, personally, I'm just like, all right, what is this actually about? And I think that's really important. And like I'll just say it like straight up, like shit, like 60-70% of like really new dubstep is just like not that for me.
I
Like,
know.
I don't think there's like, you know, like you can argue like subjectivity there, but I mean, like, yo, let's like be real. Like, so much of that
No,
shit
I know.
is just like,
I completely agree with you. I think that I hear it all the time. If I had a fucking $1 for every dubstep record that I've heard with like a fire intro and just a completely disconnected shitty drop, I'd be fucking rich because there's so many of them. And I think that like we get so lost in EDM in the idea or like in bass music in general in the idea of like sound design being the most important thing. But it's like, okay, cool, you can make whatever fucking bass growl, whatever, but like, do you know how to structure and compose a record? You know what I mean? And I think like that's the most important thing, and that's what gets lost. And I even notice it when I do like when I do live streams or when I do like production, you know, like tutorials or whatever. Like there's always all these kids that are trying to dissect like every little noise that I'm making. And I'm like, who cares what noise I'm making? Like focus on like how to structure a fucking song. Yeah. And maybe people will connect to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Straight up like story of my fucking life. I love anyone who engages in my shit. But the thing is I think like after 2018, like we were kind of talking about that earlier. After 2018, I was like, I don't really like, I kind of made all the noises I wanted to make. Like, it ain't really about that anymore. And that's even, like, this shit with Legacy is, like, those songs really aren't about the fucking noises in them. They just are part of that story, you know?
Yeah, it's, like, supposed to tell a story. No, I think that's important. I think that's definitely a rare thing nowadays. And I think that that's what's going to help you achieve sustainability in your career and like longevity, because you're going to speak to that part of somebody that's like human, that's like real. You know what I mean? You're not going to just like pique their interest for a second and then, you know, they're going to forget about you a week later. You know what I mean?
100%. It's also like part of like the bigger message you're like telling as an artist and all that shit. Like if your whole like bit is like, I don't know, a lot of the music I write is just about being melancholy. You know, it's just like whatever, like this and that and nostalgia and melancholy. So like you kind of get, if you were to front to back like every fucking song that I wrote in the past like 3 years, you'd walk away being like, oh, like, yeah, that's kind of the bit that dude is getting at. Yeah. You know, and if you don't have that context for a song, it's like, well, then I'm kind of just listening to a synth, you know? I'm just like listening to sound design, which like I guess can be cool. Like I mean, you can lean way the fuck into that and like be like listening to Merzbow and fucking noise music and shit.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Shit, like I just like music. I just like good music, like shit that I can actually like. Yeah, I fuck with that energy, you know.
Yeah, and I think that. Because I think that, like, a good record and, like, a good song, it's going to transcend hype. It's going to transcend trends. It's going to transcend generationally. Like, that's why I can still listen to the Moonlight Sonata that Beethoven wrote fucking, I don't even know how long, hundreds of years ago. And, like, still connect to it because it connects to that common denominator between me, a person now, and a person hundreds of years ago, which is our humanity, and like that piece that like connects every single one of us. You know what I mean?
Yo, those triplets fucking go.
I know they do. They really do.
That riff is hard. That shit is slaps. So tell me about the punk scene when you were younger. That I'm just genuinely fascinated in.
Yeah. So when I was so I have to like tell my whole life story now because
Sav's
this is
from
like
Atlanta, or I mean she's from LA. I mean she's from out here.
Yeah, I'm from out here. But yeah, so I was born cross-eyed and I like got bullied. I got a surgery when I was like a baby.
So you just immediately went so far back. I'm so here for
this. It all connects. It all connects.
Go,
but like so when I was born cross-eyed, right? Okay. And so like when I was a baby, I got a surgery to fix it. But then like when I got older, and like started to go through puberty and, you know, all that fun shit, I like the scar tissue in my eye like stretched out and I had like a really fucked up lazy eye for like a really long time. I got bullied so bad in middle school. Like I wanted to like be cool like so bad in middle school, but I was like a fucking nerd. I like read Twilight and like got made fun of for like having a lazy eye and like reading Twilight. Like I remember this, and I remember this one girl, this this punk rock girl in my middle school. She was so cool. I thought she was so fucking sick.
Hell yeah.
And she came up to me, and I was wearing a Twilight shirt, and she was like, "Yo, Twilight's gay." And I was like, I was like, what? I was like, what? No, and like literally my entire life was just like shattered. I was just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, this is the coolest girl at the school, and she thought that I am gay. I was like, what the fuck? And then, so from there, I just kind of like, I always saw these like punk kids, and I was like, damn, I want to be that so bad. And I was like kind of a little emo kid in middle school, like got bullied, had no fucking friends. And then when I got to high school, I had a surgery again to like fix it.
Yeah.
And then, so I get to high school, and then I just kind of like started going to punk shows. I started getting into like the Addicts and like the Buzzcocks and all like the old school kind of like OG punk rock. And then I started going to these punk shows, and for the first fucking time in my life, like these people like were like accepting of me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for the first fucking time, I was like, they don't give a fuck about like what I look like or like any of this like surface level bullshit that I was getting bullied for like as a kid. And so
that's exactly how I feel about juggalos. Whoop whoop.
Oh yeah, no, I love the whole juggalo scene. Like I fucking love it.
I'm actually just playing. I'm not a juggalo.
No, but the
like,
juggalo scene is fucking sick.
Yo, it's
like it is fire, yeah.
Sick, yeah.
And the whole message they put across is fucking amazing.
Yeah. Hella people. And when I was super younger, like my sister was in.
Oh yeah, because you're like from like
I'm
Vermont.
From the sticks, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
so many
you're from like the fucking boonies.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just like felt kind of a part of for the first time, and yeah, I would like go to these backyard punk shows every weekend in like East LA and South Central and Compton and downtown and just like party. And I mean, it definitely became toxic at some point because the LA punk scene is really interesting because I don't know, there was just a lot of like gang shit that was happening at these shows that I was going to, and like people were getting hurt, people were getting stabbed and like beat up, and like it was just like it was like gnarly. So it was really I guess my dad got like really worried because my dad's this like nerdy white dude who was like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know, it was cool because that was the first time in my life that I really felt like I was like a part of something, which is what I had wanted the entire time growing up, you know?
Yeah, totally.
But I think the irony of like punk rock is that you become a part of this like subculture where it's supposed to be like all these outcasts and all these people like accepting everybody for just like how they are, but then it becomes like very judgmental and like, oh, like this person is wearing too mainstream of a punk rock t-shirt, that must mean they're a poser, you know what I mean? It just becomes like toxic to itself.
Yeah.
And so it becomes kind of ironic because the whole like ethos of punk is ironic in itself. Because like Henry Rollins said this quote one time. I can't remember exactly the words of the quote, but he said something along the lines of like, if you want to, you know, stick it to the man or like beat the system or whatever, like you have to play the game, and you have to like, you can't just like get drunk in a backyard and say fuck the police and then like expect something to change. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Stick to Your Guns has this rant that Andy, my roommate, like showed me. Dude goes on he's on stage and he's talking about how he's like, well, you know, I know you hate politics. We all hate politics. But you know who fucking loves politics? Your landlord loves politics. Your boss loves politics. The police love politics. So if you want to fuck them up, if you want to beat them, you got to start loving politics. Yeah. And I was just like, that shit, I mean, that honestly is like low key, like words to live by in America, at least, you know. No,
100%. Because I think there's a song about it too by this band called Apolitical. It's like this crust punk anarcho band that is called Stop Thinking in a Pogo. And it's basically just all about like the irony of punk rock and how like we sit here, like all these punk rock kids like sit in backyards and like get fucking drunk and like in their anarchy hats that they bought from Hot Topic and like complain about everything, but like don't do anything to change it. Yeah. And so I think that it's funny because when I was like 15, I'd be at these shows, I'd see like the person without a lot of patches and like just a black flag shirt or a casual t-shirt or something, I'd be like, wow, like they probably don't know anything. Like what a poser. And just like judging the shit out of them. And now it's funny because I go to punk shows and I'm the person with like no patches and like, but still I'm like more punk rock than any of these motherfuckers that are judging me for not being punk rock enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a result of a bunch of kids getting together anyway. I think that,
yeah,
you know,
for sure.
It's just like young kids are going to talk shit and they love it and they don't know shit a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, all
definitely.
due respect or whatever. But yeah, not that I know about the punk scene like that, but I just mean in general. Like,
yeah, no, kids are gonna be kids. Kids
are shitheads. I was a shithead.
I mean, I thought I knew everything until I realized I didn't.
Same.
And I was like, oh fuck, here comes the existential crisis.
Yeah, I think the irony with that shit, with like growing up, is that like it takes being able to like look back at yourself and be like, yo, like exactly that. Like I thought I knew everything, but now I'm like fucking 27 and I'm like, I was a dipshit, you know.
Oh, yeah, and it's crazy, too, because...
Which also, sorry to cut you off, but, like, deductive reasoning means I'm still a dipshit.
Yeah, so. Yeah. No, it's just, like, I feel like you become slightly less... Or maybe just still a dipshit, but, like, just more acclimated to, like, the world, maybe. Because, yeah, I used to think that, like, I'd be like, oh, well... I'd look at my friends that were like 21, 22. I'd be like, damn, they're so old. Like, they got their shit together. Like, you know, and now I'm like almost 25 and I'm just like, still feel like a literal 3-year-old most of the time.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know how to do my taxes. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I get nervous as fuck all January because of that reason. Every year. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm going to get audited, I guess. For no reason.
Yeah, I know. I totally feel you. No, I get it. Trust me. I completely understand.
Yeah, I don't know that shit. I wish I could hire an accountant, but that falls into the same shit where it's like, I don't know how to hire a fucking accountant.
I know.
You know? Like,
I know. Like, what do you Google? Accountant for hire.
Yeah, like Craigslist, that shit, you get the worst accountant in the world.
Oh, I know. You'd get like such a sketchy guy.
You just think you're about to file your taxes and he's just jerking off or something in like 5 minutes. It's like, you're not an accountant, man. Craigslist
no, I know.
Really weird.
I know. I haven't done my taxes in a couple years. I need to do them.
I wouldn't say that on a podcast.
I mean, oh my God, really? Oh fuck. What if the FBI is watching?
I'm just playing. Yeah. No, my taxes got all fucked up last year. I accidentally filed all of Andy and Omar's rent. And so it said I made this like insane amount of money.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they were like paying me their rent into my PayPal. And I just took all my because I was like, yeah, that's how I make money. And so I took all my PayPal. And it was just like way more than I made.
Yeah.
And so I paid like a shitload in taxes. And then like, but all that aside, it helped us get this place because like low key, I was like, yeah, I made a ton of money last year.
Right,
Don't worry
right.
about it, you know?
No, this place is nice. I really like it.
Yeah, it's cozy as fuck. I mean, if you saw our old place, you would think it's a hilarious change because we used to, like, straight up, like, this isn't, like, a metaphor. We actually used to live in a lawyer's office.
Really?
Yeah, it was, like, it was, like, 4 offices in a lawyer's office. And the lawyer who owned it moved out, and he was like, I just need someone to fill it. While I'm not.
So it was like an office.
Yeah, it was like an office. Like in my studio, all of my walls were like made of glass, like full blown, like ground level, like double door, glass door.
That's
office.
Crazy. Wait, where was that? Was that in LA?
No, that's in Seattle.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we just came out here like in October.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure you guys just came out here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, LA is a trip for sure. It's definitely an interesting city. I'm from here and I still never haven't gotten used to it.
It's literally Grand Theft Auto every day. I'm just like, this is
well, Grand Theft Auto is literally based on LA.
They fucking nailed it.
I know they did. I'll be playing GTA 5 and I'll literally like know where to go. I'm like, they tell me like the neighborhood. I'm like, I already know how to get there. Like I'm from LA, so like I know like the streets to take and shit. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty on point. That whole game is literally based off the city. So
it's like the funniest shit though. Like it's the nuances that get me. Like that. It ain't even like the layout and all that. It's like you'll be walking to the grocery store and it's just exactly that. Like someone will fucking trip over someone's shoe and say some like, I don't know how to put that without sounding fucked up. They'll just say some like mad like gang loke ass shit. They'll say some real loke ass shit, You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I feel you.
And I just like laugh. Like I just start laughing. Like, bro, this is not. I'm so not from here, and this is hilariously like GTA.
No, I grew up like Highland Park area, so like, but it's crazy because it's super gentrified now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like really different. Like now, it's like you walk down Fig and you can get some fucking like espresso art and like avocado toast for like $18.
Hell yeah.
But it didn't used to be like that. Like when I was growing up there, like I remember specifically like this one time when I walked into the CVS and there was like a fucking like gang fight like going on in the CVS, and I was like in the makeup aisle and I was like, bro, like, I guess I'm not like, getting my eyeliner today, like, and I just like had to walk out and like go somewhere else because it used to be like crazy. But and LA's like definitely like it's a city, so it's like you definitely want to be like aware of your surroundings and stuff, but it's definitely not like it used to be. Well, most of those areas, like I know South Central has gone a lot better, and like Highland Park has gone a lot better.
Nice.
But yeah, they used to be fucking crazy out there.
I kind of live for that shit. Like I like love spectating crazy shit. Like
I know. I love people watching me too.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
Like I definitely don't want to be like surrounded by sketchiness all the time. But just seeing some crazy shit go down, like I live for that shit.
Oh, I know, me too.
I'll even like do, I don't know. Yeah, fuck it, I'll say that. I'll like be doing some weird shit. Like if I'm hearing people like fucking in an apartment or fighting, any of that shit, I don't give a fuck. Anything that's crazy, I'll have to stop on the street and like
just process it. Yeah, you gotta like take it in. No, I feel you.
I'm like, I just want to know. I just want to know.
Oh, I am 100% there with you. I'm so nosy to like other shit that's going on. Like I like eavesdropped on people's conversations like while I'm walking down the street. I love it. I love hearing what's happening around me.
I just want to know.
I know. I'm just curious. Like, I'm like, what are they talking about?
I used to live on street level in Seattle, and I heard this dude once like catch his girl cheating on her phone, and it was just the most entertaining moment of my life. Like, it was so dramatic. It was so dramatic. He yanks her phone out of her hand, I think, because I'm like listening to this. And he's like, see, like, listing off all this sus shit. And then she, like, it was so, like, her attitude immediately switches. Like, they're yelling at each other at first, and then she was like, yo, well, whatever, fuck you. And you can hear him, like, throw the phone. And
oh,
the
my
phone
God.
breaks and stuff, and they're all yelling at each other, and it's, like, 4 a.m. or something like that. And, like, I think my girlfriend at the time was like, Jesus Christ, I'm trying to sleep. And I'm just sitting there like Birdman, like, let's go.
I know, I feel you. It's interesting. You're just, like, to hear other people's lives. I don't know, that sounds so creepy, but
it's
like
so creepy. Yeah, I know
like
it is.
Such a creepy thing for me to say.
I'm aware of that. Yeah,
but
like, I'm aware that it's sus.
But like it fills like some weird void like within me, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, like, see, I don't like reality TV or anything like that.
Really,
like
it
doesn't do it for me because I'm like, it has to be contrived. I'm like, this is some MTV shit. But if I'm like right there, and I know this is just completely unhinged, like it's not,
for sure.
It's so real. I'm like, I don't know. I just love it.
For sure. I feel like that's why I like raves too. Like that's why I like raving, because like,
oh yeah, literally
every time I'm at a rave, there's just some crazy ass shit that like you can't make up, just like happening
every time
around you. That is just like I don't know if have you ever been to like EDC and any of the bigger Insomniac events?
The big ones that I've gone to are all Washington. Well, I went to Shambhala. I went to Shambhala too.
Okay, I've never been to Shambhala, but there's this guy. I always see him at different Insomniac events. I don't know his name. He has like a whole like following, but he's like pink. He's like all pink. Like he paints himself all pink.
Yeah.
And he's like almost like naked. He wears like a little Speedo.
Solid.
And he like paints himself all pink, and that's just like his thing.
Legend.
That's just like his vibe, and he just like wanders the rave by himself, just as a pink man.
Fire.
And I'm just like, I mean, I respect it. Like,
there's a Sriracha guy. He be out there.
Yeah, I see him too. Too. And then also the Rave Dora. Have you seen Rave Dora?
Oh, like Dora the Explorer?
Yeah. It's this guy who dresses up as Dora. And
fire.
Like it's like Rave Dora.
That's so fire.
I know, I love it. It's so funny.
I feel like with raves, people watching, specifically with raves, people watching is really, really awesome during the day, and then once it gets to, like, goblin hours, it's not cool anymore.
It's freaky, yeah.
It gets so not cool.
It gets mad weird.
Yeah. Like, I just, every single time it gets to those, like, lurking hours at raves, I'm like, I have to go to bed.
It still entertains me, though. There's something about it that just, I don't know. I love people watching, like, anywhere I'm at. Like, I'm so interested in, like, other people. I
can't watch with people on nitrous, though.
Oh, yeah.
They'll still do whippets until, 3 p.m. noon.
That used to be me. That literally used to be me.
I mean, I get it. It's a moment, but...
It definitely was a moment. A long moment.
Yeah. Because I just remember the amount of times at festivals, I just be, like, trying to sleep, and I'm like, you still have nitrous in there, huh? Like, that's a whole dentist tank and that shit. It's crazy. Yeah, no, that used to be me for sure. I was that person that was doing whippets until 3 p.m. I just get drunk at those shows, but every now and then I'll do psychedelics. But that's the thing is I'm not really like that hard on like partying like that, like doing substances at this point. I don't know. Yeah, I feel you. You get tired. Yeah, it's fucking exhausting, and even now at this point in my life, I don't like hangovers. I don't like any of that. Yeah, no, I feel you. Hangovers are the fucking worst. I never really, I mean, I did a lot of drugs, but I honestly didn't really drink that much because me drunk is like the worst person. Like literally just the worst. I spill everything. I can barely walk. I am a fucking monster. There's so much worse than clumsiness. I mean, I feel like I can't like say everything. Oh, yeah. But gotcha, there's so many like stupid things that I've done when I've been drunk or fucked up. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That's like a whole nother thing. I think like at super gnarly hours when people are fucked up, sometimes shit gets dark. For sure. And it's like not, yeah. That's like a whole nother thing. Actually, I was talking with Andy and like the homie Daniel about this like semi recently. I think you got to call it at like 2 a.m. if you're doing that, if you're ever doing that. Like you can't, I feel like after 2 a.m. it always gets weird. Like 9 out of 10 stories get strange after it's 2 always weird for sure. I can't even tell you the amount of times I've been at like a party and it's like 4 a.m. and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Because everyone's just like past the point of when they should be in bed. Oh yeah. And it's just like weirdness. Oh, like so such weirdness. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Besides music, what do you like to do? Sleep. Sleep, I love sleeping. Oh, I just remembered. I meant to open this whole thing up with just being like, so what's up with stuff? And just oh my god, I would have been so mad because my brain would have just been like, what do I like to do? I like to, what do I like? I like to sleep too. Shit. I love sleeping. I like playing video games. Fuck yeah. That's what I like doing. What do you play? I just beat Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is like, I love Assassin's Creed. I'm a fucking simp for Assassin's Creed. But I love like open world RPG games. Like I am a fucking like side quest slut. Like I love it. I love games like that. They're my favorite. And then, but I do play a lot of Fortnite too. I'm not big on like battle royale type stuff, but I played a little bit of Apex. I see you got dubs on your fucking I did get a dub yesterday. I was on a solo round too. I was like, okay, damn, shawty. Fuck yeah, I saw that shit. I know, I was really proud of myself. I don't normally, I usually get like top 10, but I don't usually win because I'm not like super good at the building. Yeah. So, like, when I'm up against some, like, fucking sweaty 12-year-old that's, like, building the Twin Towers in, like, 0.5 seconds, I'm just, like, I'm out the game at that point, you know what I mean? So... Yeah, those kids are fucking gods here. I don't even play that shit, but I watch them, and I'm like, you motherfuckers are, like... how do they do that? My brain doesn't even work that fast. It's that ADHD brain. It's crazy, They got that Vyvanse brain, that white I know, they really do. That young prescribed Vyvanse brain. Yeah. For sure. It's the edge. It's the edge you need. It really is. Holy shit. But yeah, Fortnite's really fun. I don't know why so many people hate on it, because all my friends are like, oh my god, you're playing Fortnite? Like, that's so
I can't believe like play Call of Duty like a real gamer, and I'm just like, I don't like Call of Duty. It's too serious. I can dance in Fortnite. Like, why would I not play that?
I think it was Old Town Road. I think that dug the grave for Fortnite.
Really?
I don't know. I feel like, because I seen a bunch of like 4-year-olds in preschool doing the old. Oh no! It was Sheck West. Sheck West.
Really?
I don't know. I saw these 4-year-olds doing the Fortnite dance to Sheck West.
I mean, it is definitely a game that like younger kids play, but it's like, if I grew up as a kid where I had Fortnite available, I'd be playing that shit. Like, I grew up with fucking Putt Putt Saves the Zoo and like Freddy Fish and shit like that. So it's like, those were my games at my disposal at the time, you know?
I was playing Quake. I was fucking sinister on Quake 3. I was a savage.
I don't think I ever played Quake. I was like a Nintendo kid. I grew up on like Zelda and like Pokemon and
Quake is
shit
like
that.
Quake is like that early battle royale shit, like that like real like sweaty computer repairman battle royale shit. But like I was a motherfucking monster. I'd be hacking people.
I don't
like
think I
I'd be
ever
running
played
console
that.
commands just to fuck them up, you know, like a nerd.
Yeah, I don't think I've even heard of it.
Oh yeah, it's like Doom. It's like in that lane of
Oh,
shit.
okay. Yeah, I was like big on, because I had a GameCube growing up. GameCube and Game Boy and stuff.
Always wanted one.
I was big on like Legend of Zelda, like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask.
Oh yeah, that's Taylor who he's taking a nap now because he was driving for 30 hours or whatever. yeah, that's like his favorite game.
Yeah, Zelda's the fucking best. But those were like my favorite games growing up, and like Pokemon was a big thing for me.
You see, they're making a live action Zelda.
No way. I've been waiting for this.
I mean, I wish I could approach it with that amount of optimism. I think they're gonna botch it.
I do not doubt that they're gonna botch it, but I feel like I still need to watch it. You know, like and the thing is, like, I don't know, there's some like level of satisfaction watching it still, even if it sucks. Like, I don't know, because I felt that way with the Assassin's Creed movie. Like, it was fucking awful, but like it looked really good. Like, visually, it looked good.
Yeah.
So I felt like
I just remembered I saw that shit on HBO. That was an awful movie.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
It did look cool though. It did look really
But yeah,
cool.
it was really cool, like the visual aspect of it. And so yeah, I think the one that has stood, like, obviously live action of any video game or anime is always going to be like not as good, but I feel like the one that I have seen that was good, or at least I was able to walk away from it feeling like not terrible.
Okay.
Was Ghost in the Shell. I didn't hate it. I thought I was gonna hate it, and I really didn't hate it because it was like so visually well done, and I felt like
visually like,
and like
really,
Scarlett Johansson is like so hot. So
she was banging. I don't know. I think there's a level of jaded that that couldn't be broken down when it comes to Ghost in the Shell. Like with that.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I get it. Trust me. I was having this debate with my roommate like 2 days ago, and we got like heated into it. But like, I didn't walk away from it hating it because I feel like they obviously could have done better. Yeah. But like, I was thoroughly entertained the whole time. Like, and I didn't feel like it was corny at any point because like when I watched like the Death Note live action, dude, I literally wanted to shoot myself. It was so bad. They changed his name from Light Yagami to Light Turner. And I literally was like, I'm committing suicide. I'm gone. Goodbye.
Yeah. No,
but
I feel that.
I don't know. I didn't hate it. I thought some people might disagree with me, but like I personally, it was really cool to see it executed in that way. And it was so visually stunning that like.
I do wish that girl was Asian though. Like
I do too, but Scarlett Johansson, I feel like if they had to whitewash it with anybody, like Scarlett Johansson was like. I was okay with that because she looked great. And her suit, like the whole like. Thing that I don't know what the fuck it's called, but like when it goes like all, you know, holographic and shit, it was so cool. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it.
The Netflix 3D animated version of Ghost in the Shell though was fucking trash.
I didn't even watch it. I didn't even watch it.
I think I can't even give an educated opinion because I think I gave it like 5 minutes And I was like, no fucking way, dude.
I'm
Like,
not a big fan of like 3D anime anyway. I feel like it's just really like cheesy to me.
Yeah.
I just like I can't really get into it. Like unless it's like a full on like fucking like DreamWorks animated like production, then it just doesn't look right. It still looks very like weird to me, and I don't connect to it in the same way that it would be like a 2D thing or.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that a lot, and I think with that kind of art too of like traditional anime shit, that's really why I watch any of that stuff. I'm not even a weeb. I'm like actually so much not that. Like I don't know the like vast majority of them. But the thing is I am a fucking art nerd. And so the art direction in those things in like so many like Cowboy Bebop, like a lot of those fucking shows and movies is just like that's apex shit.
Did you watch Demon Slayer?
I know of it.
You need to watch it.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, like that anime just visually is just like so stunning.
Yeah.
Because they just nail it. Like they just everything about it is so good. I mean,
what was the one? Sorry to cut you off. What was the one that's like partially 3D? Is it Berserk that they did that with? Where it's like kind of 3D, but it's not, and there's like it's really really visually stunning.
I think it's like a gene demi-human or something like that. I think I know what you're talking about because
it's super dark and everything's like fiery and fucking mechanical, and it's like partially 3D.
It could be Berserk. I never really got into Berserk. Like I watched a couple episodes, but that kind of like I don't know. I just didn't really connect to it. I should probably try to give it another chance, but I'm really picky about anime.
Yeah, it was just that one where I was like, this animation style is insane. Like insane. Just really really fucking cool. For the most part though, like if they were to just come out with like a 3D Akira or some shit, I'd be like, fuck you. Like
I know it would be a joke for sure. Yeah. Akira's amazing. Akira's great, incredible.
Yeah, it's still a good fucking movie. There was something like when I say still, I mean like 30 years later.
Yeah.
Years later? I don't know what it is now. Taylor, did you nap?
Yeah, for a second.
Good morning.
That's good, dude.
Dude, I heard a hilarious like white knuckle joke about like 12-year-olds playing Fortnite though, and I sort of corrected it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What were you saying? You said they built the Twin Towers?
About sweaty 12-years?
12-year-olds building the Twin Towers on Fortnite.
It's true, dude. I'll be so pissed. I'm just like there trying to figure out how to switch from my SMG to my AR, and these fucking kids are like. I'm just like, what in the Vivance is going on? Like, this is, it's crazy. Like, I don't get it. But, I mean, I don't think my brain will ever work that fast. And that's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm cool in my pace. I'm chilling right here. But
I don't know if you ever played Persona 5. That's another one that I kind of like, but I haven't really, like, super gotten into it. It's, like, turn-based. And turn-based isn't really my jam.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like when you play Pokemon and it's like you click like attack and you do your turn and then the next thing like they do their attack. Yeah. That's how the combat is. So it's turn-based combat, which is like very common with like JRPGs.
Yeah, that's like an arcade game. It feels like that stuff feels like an arcade game.
Yeah, and it's fun because it's like its own style of game. But like personally, I don't know. I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed because I got a PS4. Like I've had like access to a PS4 for the last couple of years because my roommate had one.
Nice.
But I got my own last year, and like while I was in quarantine, I just like ran through like Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey, and then I just played through Valhalla, and like oh my god, they're so good.
Hell yeah.
Like yeah.
You fuck with Cyberpunk yet?
I haven't played it yet. I feel like I'm setting up my PC on Friday, and I'm gonna play it for sure when I get the PC set up because I don't want to play it on PS4. I heard it just doesn't run well on PS4.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Honestly. Yeah, it looks so funny to me. Like it's like I do that 3D shit, so it's just like I can see what's going on, and it's just so funny. Like you guys just called it halfway. Like
yeah, I mean, I just think that like they rushed it and. Yeah. It kind of was butchered, and I think that like conceptually,
for the earlier gen shit, yeah.
but I feel like conceptually it's such a beautiful game, and I think that like they're gonna need to kind of like make up for it a little bit with like you know what they do going forward. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna play it. I'm kind of sad though that you can't play in third person at like while you're not driving.
I didn't know that.
Because it's all first person, and I feel like with that level of character customization, like I would love to be able to just like see my character.
That's a damn good point. Yeah, that should be like literally like a third of the game.
Yeah,
like, with the amount that you're cut
for sure. Yeah. And that's why I loved like Red Dead and GTA, because I had the option to switch between first person and third person. So like when it served me to be in first person, I'd be in first person. But when it served me to be in third person, I'd be in third person. And so I just feel like that would have been a really cool thing that they could have added that would have, I think, reached a bigger demographic too. Yeah. You know?
I totally agree. You see that shit with like the kids with guns throughout the street in that game?
No, I haven't. I haven't like really watched too many streams or anything on it because I just like don't want to spoil anything for me.
Yeah, I definitely.
So but I'm probably gonna get it when I get my PC set up. I just like haven't gotten my PC yet. So
fun fact, I don't even like game, to be honest. That's not even my shit. But like I pay attention to it really closely because like, that's like a lot of the same. It's just nerd shit. Like I want to know what they're
and you
doing.
do the 3D art stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, Andy's like heavy into some shit. Like he plays a lot of Siege. You probably know that, right?
Yeah. No, he's friends with my ex.
Well, I'm not gonna say that on here, but yeah, no, he goes hard. He goes hard with that shit. I've never got into it because it's I don't know, it's just not my thing. Like I don't know how to.
I'm not big into those games either. I just feel like I try playing Call of Duty and I get so stressed out. Yeah, I'm just like. I don't know, just people are so, like, sweaty on there, and it's just, like, it's just not my jam. Like, I don't know. I'd rather play, like, I don't know. I like a wide variety of games, but I think the only, like, really Battle Royale games that I like right now are, like, I kind of like Apex, and I really love Fortnite.
Yeah. Have you built your computer yet?
It's already built. I bought it off of a friend of mine who's got a newer one. I just need to pick it up and haven't because I've been lazy.
Nice. Let's get into some nerd shit.
But yeah, I'm supposed to pick it up on Friday.
What GPU you got in there?
I don't fucking know. I don't know what any of that shit means. I don't know. I just know it's a computer that's gonna make me able to make music better and play video games. That's all I know about it. And it's gonna have like lights and stuff in it, which is cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't know anything about computers.
I'm like all like industrial with my shit. I'm like put it in a fucking black box and make it rip. Like that's like
really
all that's my tower right there.
Oh wow.
I'm just like the more it can look like mechanical.
Yeah.
I'm just like
no, it's tight. It's very like low key.
Yeah.
I like the lights though. I just personally think they're cool.
No, they go hard. Yeah. Like if you really lean into it and you have like a crazy RGB setup, it looks fucking sick.
Yeah, it does look dope.
Yeah. No, I'm about to build some crazy nerdy shit, but that's like a whole different conversation.
Yeah, I don't really know much about computers. I just know that like I needed to get a PC because I've had the same MacBook for like so long. Yeah. And it's just like getting to the point where I don't like producing on a MacBook either because I feel like it's just not powerful enough for what I want to do. You know?
I mean, yeah, it depends. Like the shitty thing about that is like this is also very nerdy. But those processors, like the way they actually build those computers is not fucking optimized for Ableton at all.
For sure,
like, whatsoever.
Yeah,
so, like,
yeah.
I got that thing. I got like a Ryzen in there and like all the CPU problems I ever had, like that's not even like I like can't max that out.
Yeah.
You know, but like yeah, no, MacBooks, especially like 2014, I want to say 2015, like they cannot hang.
Yeah, I think it's a 2013. I have two MacBooks. I have
OG.
Yeah, I have two 2013 MacBooks. One's a 13-inch and one's a 15-inch, and I'm using the 15-inch right now because the 13-inch is full. And I feel like I'm like an electronic hoarder. Like a file hoarder. Like I just have so much stuff on my computer. Oh, yeah. And I feel like I can't get rid of it. Like I have so many like memes and just like things
Oh, that was some shit I wanted to talk to you about.
What?
Your fucking meme game. It's like, seriously, like anyone in the industry, like it ain't even fucking close.
Thank you so much.
For real, your meme game is fucked. I don't even know how you find all that shit. Like it's incredible, actually.
Yeah.
You could run a fucking blog and bring back the blog game. Like
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it because I think about so many things. And I could just write them in an internet forum. I don't know, but
the memes are fucking crazy. Like,
I love memes. I feel like humor is a really powerful way of like coping for me.
Yeah.
And I have a lot. I'm very mentally ill, so like I have a lot of like. I feel like it's easier for me to laugh about shit than it is to like cry about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to that just for everyone.
Yeah,
it's important
for sure. It's just like I'd rather just I don't know. It's just it's easier for me to like just find humor in something. I love like really dark, like dry, weird humor.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know. I love memes. I love shit posts. Like, the internet is my sanctuary. And I was, like, a Tumblr kid when I was younger.
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense. Yeah.
You know, I was, like, on Tumblr and fucking was, like, posting all these, like, really depressing, like, corny Tumblr photos that are, like...
same. Fuck, yeah.
Yeah, that said, like, really, really cheesy bullshit. I'm trying to think of something that one of my posts would have said. Like realize. Shit like that. You know what I mean?
Fucking Taylor's laughing back.
You know what I mean? Or, and then like 14-year-old me was like, oh God, this is so deep. Like, oh man, I'm just such a deep person. And
me and Andy were, this is a digression, but me and Andy were talking about how that TLC graduation song, when you're 12 years old, that's the heaviest shit you have ever heard ever. That is like life-changing shit.
Wait, which one?
The As We Go.
Oh, I was going to say the As We Go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I'm pretty sure I spent some time crying to that as a kid.
Of course you did. I think we all did.
Yeah.
Like, at 12 years old, like there's not a fucking thing. Like you could watch The Notebook, any of that shit. It's not even close to that song.
I don't know. Titanic really did it for me though. Like I remember like when I watched Titanic, like I cried for like a week after that, just like sobbing in the shower, just like so sad about it.
In the shower though.
I just was just like, I can't believe she let go. And then like, you know what also just really fucked me up, like made me so sad? So did you ever watch Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Hell yeah.
So do you remember this is gonna sound so weird, but like did you remember that episode where Courage his family, his mom and his dad get sent to the moon and they just like die up there, or they're just up there forever?
Oh wow, that's like really digging deep. Kind of.
Because that episode like fucked me up. I remember like crying really hard over that. I was just like, oh my God. Like, I was like, Courage. Like, I can't believe that. Like, they're just like on the moon and they'll never see their son again.
It did it. It did it for, you know? Like,
yeah.
Courage was heavy. Actually, Courage of any of the cartoons from that era was actually like the heaviest shit.
That one was intense, yeah.
Really scary sometimes.
Yeah, no, Courage freaked me out for sure. That one and there was another one. I fucking can't remember. Ren and Stimpy used to freak me out too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because that one was just like really strange.
Taylor, you gotta be more serious when you're on camera. We have to do that weird ass one that we're talking about. You can't just be in one episode looking goofy as hell, and then the next one it's like avant-garde art shit.
I don't know if the vibe is to sneak. Can I get out here?
Yeah, just be gentle.
Yeah. I don't know if the vibe is to sneak or to move fast. I don't know what the...
Just like a normal human. Shoot for that. No, Ren and Stimpy goes hard as fuck, though. I like the animation style in that show.
Yeah, Ren and Stimpy's the shit. I loved Courage the Cowardly Dog, though. That was, like, my favorite. And then, what else? There were other ones.
I like Billy and Mandy a lot.
I was going to say Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy was a good one. Also... Do you remember Cow and Chicken?
Fuck yeah.
That one was awesome.
Hell yeah.
Hey Arnold.
Oh, Hey Arnold, I like now more as an adult than I do than I
Really?
did as a kid. Yeah, yeah. It's like on like it's hard to explain, but those writers were doing shit, and I swear by this, they're doing shit that's like way deeper than kids shows.
Right.
Like there's these like kind of worldviews that they lean into on that show on like not just tolerance, but like more like the general idea of like diversity in a community and like, just ideology and that shit that is like as an adult now I watch and I'm like, fuck man, like that's good shit.
No, I know. I think a lot of those shows are like that. Like I think there's a lot of like kids shows where Invader Zim. That was what I was thinking of. That was one of my top.
Andy fucking loves that shit.
Yeah, Invader Zim was like one of my fucking favorites, but that show freaked me out sometimes. It was really weird.
I think that's why I didn't like it. I think I was like it made me uncomfortable as a kid.
It was so weird.
Yeah,
like
it was weird.
Yeah, there was so many scenes where I just remember being like stressed out watching it because I just like it just was creepy, but it was so good. And there's actually an Invader Zim movie that I was watching on Netflix recently, and it was very nostalgic, and it
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I think they made it recently. I think they like because the show got canceled, probably because it was traumatizing children.
Yeah,
and then they brought it back, I'm pretty sure, and then they released this Invader Zim movie, but it's on Netflix and it's pretty good. The
thing about Invader Zim that I think is different from a lot of cartoons is that you don't necessarily like the main character. That's like the thing.
Yeah, he's such a little dickhead.
Yeah, like, and it's not even like he's not even like necessarily polarizing. You're just like you're like a little weirdo, and like that is like the show. Like you fuck with Gurr, you know, but like,
yeah, Gurr's the best.
Yeah, but
he's
like
the best.
All those other shows, like you love Arnold, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They're all like either really polarizing, like you either really hate them or you really love the main characters. But Zim on that show is like just a little dick, and you're like,
yeah. And I think too, what made it awesome is how dark it was, and there was no part of it that was like, oh, we're gonna have a happy ending. It was just like always some shit was going down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like there was never like a time where I feel like it was just we live happily ever after. It was always this war between Dib and Zim, you know what I mean? And it was just like, you didn't really like Dib because he's also a little prick.
Yeah.
And then Zim is also a little prick, but they're like two different kinds of little pricks. And then they're just like at war with each other. But I loved that show. Like it was one of my favorites growing up.
It's a cool show. How do you feel about Rick and Morty? I just want to know.
I love Rick and Morty.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like the newest season I wasn't like as into as the other ones because I just like it was like the episodes that I enjoyed were like fewer and far between.
Yeah.
But I definitely loved the first couple seasons of it. I just thought it was really funny. I love that like Rick is like an alcoholic and
yeah. I mean it's a good ass show. It's a good show, but the fan base is weird as hell, but it's a really good show.
I just like intelligent humor. I hate like stupid like Family Guy bullshit.
What's a copy pasta on that? It's like many of you don't realize, but Rick and Morty is actually like for highly intelligent people.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I've seen that before. But I don't know. I like humor that's like that's why I love South Park so much because South Park.
Fuck with South Park.
Because South Park is so like it's silly and it's stupid, but it's also so deep and so intelligent that it's like I can laugh at like the fucking poop jokes because they're making like real jokes and like the COVID one, like the COVID episode.
So I'm not that up to date on it.
Oh, you have to watch it. Oh my god, you have to watch it. I won't spoil it.
But I've stayed up to date all the way until like it was second to last season probably. Like because that shit they don't miss. Like that's kind of the thing with them. And another thing I like about it is you can hear the bias, you can see the bias a lot of who they are as people, and they're not overly like one way. They're kind of just regular fucking guys.
Yeah, they're just trolling both sides.
Exactly,
and I think that I think that that's why I like it so much because I don't think it's like I mean obviously like we know where they stand politically, but like I think that on the show they do a good job of kind of like trolling everyone because they're just kind of like, all of you are fucking stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think because at first I didn't really like South Park. When I was younger, I liked Family Guy more because it was more like straightforward, like idiot humor and like, but as I got older, I felt like I didn't like South Park as much because if you don't understand like the current events of like what's going on in the world and you watch South Park, you're not going to find it funny because you don't know what they're making fun of.
Right.
But as I got older and started to like become more conscious of like the world and like what's happening around me, that's when I started to like find South Park. I was like, holy fuck, this is so funny.
Oh, they're killers. Yeah, they just fucking nail that shit, honestly. Like,
yeah, it's so good. They're so like, funny. Have you seen the one where Cartman like is like Logic? And you remember Logic did that like 1-800 like suicide song or whatever?
No, don't ruin that because I don't think I've seen that one either. The last episode I remember watching was the Spice one where they're talking about Tom Brady's like shit.
Oh my god, dude, you have to watch the newer ones. They're so funny.
Yeah, that's where I left off.
Yeah, you have to watch them. They're fucking hilarious.
I always call Logic the final boss of struggle rappers. Because he's just like, it just doesn't get more than that.
Yeah,
honestly.
Logic, he's interesting.
He's a hilarious person to be just in the universe, honestly.
I know. I've never been a big Logic fan. I respect him. But yeah, Cartman does this whole thing where he pretends to be Logic, and then
Dude, like literally, you just saying that it makes me fucking laugh because that's just a hilarious.
You have to watch it. Like it's so funny.
No, yeah, I when I was in high school, I really liked Logic, but then I just like it's just so he's so funny to me now.
Yeah, he's just. I don't even know the word for it. He's like Russ.
Yeah, he's
where
like
it's
Russ,
just like
exactly,
where I'm just like I respect you, but like also like LOL. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You see that shit where Doja Cat is like she was super high on coke. Thanks, Taylor. No, I'm just kidding. No, she's like super high on coke on like IG Live, and she's like just starts laughing, and she's like, Russ, I'm a fuck you. I'll let you hit, but dude, no one gives a shit. She was like, just no one gives a fuck, Russ, and just starts laughing. It's honestly like the funniest clip. It's not even that funny because she's saying no one gives a fuck. It's just the demeanor in which she's saying it.
And like because I completely agree with her. Like, I don't even want to get started on Russ, but like, I just think like, he's just,
There's so
I went to high school with Doja Cat though. Fun fact.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I did.
I thought she was like older than that. I don't know.
No, she's my age.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
But she, I don't know exactly her story. But I think she might have dropped out or gone to another school.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure because we were never really close. But yeah, she was in my choir when I was in like 10th grade, I think. But
that's crazy.
She's always been like that. Like she's always been like such a character. She's so cool and like she's always been like so like you're just like drawn to her. You know what I mean? Like she's always had that kind of affect on people and like has always just been like so incredibly talented. And I was not surprised at all when Doja Cat started to blow up. I was just like, of course, you know what I mean? Like, this makes so much sense. Yeah,
she had this song with Evil Needle. Well, I think she just pulled an Evil Needle beat, but called So High.
Oh, yeah. That was the one that, like, really, like, got her on the map, was the So High. And then Stay Loose did the remix of it that was, like, went really, really viral.
Yeah, because I was already into, like, that was the shit I really liked to listen to at that time. Was like Evil Needle and just like anything that was We Did It, anything that was like early fucking Selection, like
Penthouse, stuff like that. Great Dane.
Especially those guys, like the Team Supreme guys. I fucking loved all that shit too. And so like so I heard that tune. Shit, I think I saw that shit like on my feed when it dropped. Like it was like I was following Evil Needle, and I was like the same exact thought. I was like this girl, like whoever the fuck this is, she's gonna be so big. Yeah, because her voice is just like so unique, and she has like her own vibe, and she's funny, and like she just has her own personality. You know, like she has her own thing that like people are drawn to, and I feel like
like that's rare, you know?
Oh
so,
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
God, yeah, it's funny because like people in the industry see that, and then there's like this, I've seen this happen for like decades, for fuck's sake, but people in the industry see that happen with someone, and they're like, oh shit, now I have to have like a thing. I'm gonna like lean into something. And it's like, I always have believed if you have that thought, if you have the afterthought, you already blew it. Like you already missed the mark,
I also think I was talking about this the other day, but I think that when it comes to finding a thing or like having some thing about you that draws people to you, I think it's, you know, I think it really comes down to like self-awareness, because I think that like when kids talk to me about, not kids, but like when I've had like mentor sessions and things, and people talk to me about like how do I what's the word, like how do I like embody, like, so let me just start from another thought, but so okay. I feel like people reach so far outside of themselves to come up with this crazy like brand and story idea that's like so not anything to do with who they are as a person. And I think it's because how can you know like what you're about and what you represent if you don't even know yourself? Like if you have no idea of what your values are, of who you are, of where you stand in the world and like where you're going, how can you understand anything about what you want to impart to people? You know?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that like, so I think that it really comes down to self-awareness, because like, I mean, you can slap a logo on a DJ name any day. In the beginning, like HVDES was just a name, you know what I mean? But like over time, as I became like more aware of myself and like went on kind of this like journey of like self-exploration and like facing my own demons and things like that, like that's when the project I feel like really started to take form and like build personality. Because I don't think that people connect to my project because they think the branding is cool or because they think like, you know, the logo's cool or whatever. I think it's a combination of like, oh, this is cool, and then I also like the music, and then there's also a personality here to like draw me in, you know? And I think that like the key piece of finding that and like is self-awareness. Because if you don't, it's like if you don't know yourself, how the fuck are you gonna be able to connect to anybody?
100%. I think like with your project, that was like the first thing that actually like caught my attention, was that I was like, this girl's dope. Like that was the thing, is it was like, oh, this is like a girl, this is a human being, you know what I mean? And she's dope. It's not like on some like, exactly like you're saying, it wasn't just some like logo slapped on a banner and it's like, oh, sick song. It was like, no, like I'm gonna follow this person and actually when I say follow, I mean like
thank you, by the way.
Yeah. But it's like I'm actually gonna pay attention to like where you're at and what you're doing, because it's like, this human is dope. You know?
Yeah, and I think that makes the difference between the DJs that are going to end up playing the big stages and the DJs that are getting their music played out on the big stages.
Shit, I mean, I think that just goes for being an artist too. Like, I mean, like, it's like even regardless of the context of what happens with it. I mean, like all the people that I really fuck with, I know a bit about them, you know what I mean? And that's like what makes me a fan of them. Yeah, and that's that piece of like authenticity that like you can't really find and you can't really like market or brand unless you understand, you know? And like for me, I feel like it was kind of an accidental thing because of like my own bullshit that like I've had to like overcome, and I've had to, because I'm like a fucking drug addict and I have like all of these issues. Like I had to become aware of myself in order to like be happy and be okay. You know what I mean? In order to like not die, I had to like face myself and like figure my shit out. But I feel like a lot of people I noticed just kind of skate through life without really ever having anything that forces them to really take a look at themselves. That's fucking facts though. That's so true though. 100%.
And they just kind of like live in this like realm of like, why does my music get played out on these stages but like nobody wants to book me? Or like, why, you know, why doesn't my project have any depth, you know? And it's just like, it's like people will listen to your song but then they like they don't follow you, they don't like become fans, you know? And I think that piece is the self-awareness, because it really like, and it's simple but it's not like easy. It's definitely like you have to just kind of I encourage everyone, like, just go to therapy or, like, do some fucking work on yourself and, like, figure out, like, who you are, you know?
I think that's just such a big thing, is, like, you can't, when it comes down to it, you, like, genuinely can't fake knowing who you are, because you know, that's, like, contradictory to the whole idea of it. So you genuinely can't fake knowing who you are, and I think, like, a huge part of being, like, it all-encompassing, like, I'm talking, like, on your whole ass life journey as an artist is knowing who, like you're saying, like, knowing who the fuck you are.
And getting vulnerable, too. Like, I think that there's a lot of things that are kind of, like, taboo to talk about that are important to talk about, because, like, we're all fucking people, you know? Like, I'm not gonna hide behind this guise of, like, oh, I'm an artist, so, like, I'm somehow this, like, elite brand of human that, like, just gets it more than anybody, when it's like, no, like, I am just as flawed and imperfect and, like, you know, crazy as, like, anyone else. I just happen to also be an artist, but I feel like one of the main things that's worked for me is, like, being vulnerable and like allowing people to see that I am a person and, like, connect with me on a human level.
Yo,
you know?
I got a fucking, kind of in that same lane, I have, like, this thing that I always think about with the industry that, like, I don't understand why it's taboo to talk about, like, what you're saying. And I'm not, don't get me fucked up. You're not about to hear some crazy hot take or anything like that. But something that I just, like, genuinely is like, why are people not saying this shit? Is a lot of the people in the industry that have caught themselves in a really fucked up situation of, like, getting, like, canceled and all that kind of stuff. I think it just should have been talked about prior, because if you look at at how a lot of this shit happens, it's like, bro, like, maybe if you weren't getting so fucked up at every show, like, I like, really wish people would check their tour mates on that kind of shit. Where it's like, dude, like, well, I
think it's, like, romanticized. Like, I think that's why my drug use and my partying got so out of hand for so long, because it was fun and it was cool, and it was, like, I kind of subscribed to this, like, romanticized idea of, like, being this fucked up, like, misunderstood, tragic artist type you know, archetype, and that's something that I think is extremely toxic to our scene as a whole, because it makes us overlook, you know, the obvious signs of somebody struggling. And I think not only that, but, like, I don't know. I just think that I understand, like, why it's taboo, but I also feel like these conversations need to be had more, and people just need to be, like, more vulnerable with each other, and like, because we're all people. It's like, the reality is, like, I'm not a fucking machine. Like, I am not going to be able to, like, pump out music every single day and just, like, be okay, because if I am, you know, putting my music before everything, then my mental health is going to suffer. Like, I have to take time for myself. I have to, like, I'll make music a couple days a week, and then I'm like, okay, like, I'm going to take a couple days to, like, just chill and, like, do what I need to do to take care of me. You know what I mean?
Totally. And I need that thing not to be misconstrued, what I said there. It's not that I like shit, I drink at, like, the majority of my shows.
Yeah, yeah.
It ain't like that. It's just, like, I have seen people on the road where it's like, you are genuinely, like, heading in, like, a really fucked up position, you know? And no one's calling them on it. No one's saying anything about that, because that idea of the conversation of being like, like, chill, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fucking weird for some reason. And it shouldn't be weird.
Or even not just telling somebody to chill, but just, like, asking if somebody's okay, you know? Like,
even further,
because I think that, like, it's really just, I mean, I know for me, like, when I was doing drugs, like, I really, really, truly believed, like, wholeheartedly that the drugs, like, fueled my creativity. I was like, I can't make music unless I am high as fuck on XYZ. You know what I mean? And so I think that it's complicated, because we, like, managers and people in the industry, like, walk this line between, like, wanting artists to, like, be themselves and be them creative how they need to be, but, like, we also need to like be aware that when there's obvious signs of an issue, or where there's obvious signs of like an issue building, to like let people know that like they have support in their corner, because at the end of the day, like we can tell somebody to chill all we want, but like if that person doesn't want to chill, they're not gonna chill. You know what I mean?
Facts. Yeah, straight up.
So
absolutely, yeah.
I think it just comes down to like making people aware that like there's support around them, and that support doesn't mean like when somebody dies fucking tweeting tell your friends you love them, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's insane. It's like, it's frustrating because it's like that kind of thing is not doing anything but self-serving the people that are tweeting it to be like, oh, I can lay my head on the pillow at night and feel like I've done something. When 90% of those people tweet that and don't fucking hit up any of their friends. Every single day, at least a couple times a day, I'm hitting up friends of mine just being like, yo, I just want to let you know I love you and I appreciate you.
That's dope. That's incredible.
Because I think that, like, that's really the only way that we can, like, be supportive of each other. Because it's like people aren't going to accept help until they want it. Yeah. So at least if they understand that it's there, like, that's really all the support that, you know, we can offer.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
And like destigmatizing like being a drug addict or being an alcoholic or like, because that shit is so rampant in like, especially in the music industry.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I guess that's really what I mean by the chill thing is like, if someone acknowledged this from time to time, you know, but yeah, some shit I've always thought was weird, like on that subject of you know, artists and just even celebrities or anyone passing. Some shit I've always thought was so weird was people leaning into the tragedy of it as hard as they do sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, they'd be like, look, man, like, mourn how you want to mourn. I'm not going to tell anyone how to live their fucking life. I'm not that guy. But I've just found it very strange that it's like, I don't know, you know, it'd be like someone talking about how their entire, like week is just, like they feel like quitting their job and, like, they're, you know, just shattered by someone's death. And because sometimes it's, like, really egregious, and I'm like, okay, this shit is tragic. But, like, because the thing I always think about is, like, well, what about their best friend, you know, who does genuinely feel that way? You know, it's like that's a double-edged sword when you're leaning that hard into something, because it's like, I don't know, their family and friends probably are really, really going through that. And
social media, I feel like, is just a lot of, you know, sympathy kind of ploy in a lot of ways, and it is messy, but, yeah, I don't know. I think it just, you know, like, it's about action. It's not about talking. You know, it's like I'm not gonna go on social media and be like, when somebody dies, I'm gonna be like, oh, tell your friends you love them. Like, I'm gonna go fucking tell my friends that I love them. You know, I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna be, you know, proactive about it rather than just like talking about it because I want to be a part of something. You know what I mean? And I don't know. And I think that. Yeah, I think that we're heading in the right direction. I think that, like, overall, like, mental health stuff and addiction and things like that are becoming less stigmatized because it's becoming more widely understood that addiction is not a choice, it's a disease.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, there's normal people that can, like, do coke on the weekends and, like, they're fine. I can't. Once I start, like, I literally do not stop. You know what I mean? So it's like... But how would I have known? There's no way for me to have known that when I started, you know? So it's like, once there's a problem, if I admit that I need help, I don't feel like there should be judgment for it. And I feel like we're heading in that direction where it's, like, less stigmatized and more widely understood that it is a disease and it's not a choice.
Oh, yeah.
But it's going to take a lot of time because it's been stigmatized for so long.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and I feel like the higher you go up on the ladder, so you know you have creators and consumers. That's like the ladder there. Yeah. And the higher you go up on the ladder, I think it's less and less stigmatized because it's such a fucking real thing that you're talking about that like so many people have to like, especially in our industry, like you have to actually acknowledge that it's a real fucking thing, you know. And so like I agree with you. I like that. I love the direction that is going on social media, but. That but like it's that lower tier, not lower tier, that's a fucked up way to put it, but a lot of people that attend raves is really what I'm saying, is it's not really talked about enough in like general population, I feel, because I mean shit, like fucking.
Well, I mean, I think Insomniac does a really good job of it. I think
they
that
kill it
like
with that shit. Yeah. 100%.
Like I remember there was in EDC 2015, like my ex-boyfriend, the guy that I was like dating at the time, like he took too much Molly and we ended up in the med tent because he was like throwing up and like all this shit.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really cool the way that they had it in this like safe space where you could go if you were too fucked up, and they had like pamphlets like educating you about like different substances and things like that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
they have their ground control staff. And I think that is such a beautiful way to understand that like we can't tell people not to do drugs. We can't tell people not to party, but we can help them understand the like long-term effects of like what they're doing and like how it's going to play out if they continue to abuse shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think as a society, like, we gotta really fucking kick that like party shit, because it's like, I mean, have fun how you want to have fun, but like there's like still in the general public this attachment to like fear and loathing bullshit to like
it's a romanticized
exactly
it's that romanticized like I want to be like, it's like glamorous to be like fucking, you know, fucked up all the time and whatever. But I mean, people are going to do what they're going to do. And personally, it's just like when I get to that level of success, I want to be happy there. Like, I want to be fulfilled. I want to be like appreciative and grateful and like be able to enjoy what I've built for myself. I don't want to be like this miserable artist that's just like, you know, doing drugs until I'm in a fucking coma and then hating my life every single day on repeat, you know? Because it's like, I don't know. It's such a, it's hard too, because I think that like, because it's romanticized, it's like easier for people to overlook the signs of somebody obviously struggling. Like it can look glamorous, but like on the inside, it's like that person is fucking hates their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or like what I see a lot is that's all they got, you know? Like,
yeah, for sure.
It's like a big identity thing where it's like they just got the weekend. You know, and so, or like they just have the time when they're not working.
Yeah.
And it turns into like, man, like, I don't know. I just know cats, especially from like club days, that like that's the only reason that you knew them is like, yo, you are the plug, or like you go really, really fucking hard. Or like, and that to me is like always concerning, because it's like, well, it's scary, because it's like when you get caught in a position when you can't be that, then like, you know.
Well, that's and I think that just like the only way to really deal with that is just like be compassionate of people and like understand that like it's people are only going to accept help when they want it, you know, but like we can try to offer support and like be understanding and non-judgmental, and because like, but being non-judgmental doesn't mean that you don't pass judgments. It means that you don't act on those judgments. Because it's like we all by nature are judgmental people. Like I look at people all the time and make judgments about them.
Yeah.
But then I try to like catch myself and be aware of the judgment that I'm making and be like, oh, well, that's not really fair because this person is obviously struggling with this, this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
But like having compassion and like excusing behavior are not mutually exclusive things. And I think that that's what I was talking about this in this like producer group that I'm in. And I feel like it was misunderstood when I was talking about having compassion for people that are like acting shitty and, you know, just being super destructive, not only to themselves but to other people, because like having compassion for them and like trying to help them and understanding that they're struggling does not mean that you're like okay with their behavior.
You're enabling it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I know with my parents, like my parents completely detached from me when I was getting high because it was just too painful for them, you know? Yeah. And I, at the time, was like, man, fuck my parents. Like, they literally, like, don't give a fuck about me or whatever. But, like, that's not true. They love me so much, but, like, they couldn't just watch me destroy myself, you know? Yeah. So I think that it really just comes down to, like, holding people accountable, but also having compassion for them and understanding that the fundamental like common denominator of like being a human is change. Yeah. And like we all have the capacity to change if we're willing to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah.
No, I feel that. I really do. I like all like my baseline opinions on this shit come with the foundation that like if there is that concern, you know, if that concern has developed you know, for anyone that I know, it means that I like genuinely give a shit about someone.
Right.
You know, but like I've always like in the past, just because I am who I am, I'm just quiet as hell and watch with this stuff. And then whenever, you know, someone asks me about it, it's like, you know what, like I'll be honest with you. Like I'm not gonna bullshit you.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's the imposition when, you know, like you're saying, like if people don't want help, they're not gonna take it.
Yeah.
So it's that imposition, I think, could be like a really like
no, it's definitely
thing,
a tricky it's definitely a tricky situation. There's a lot of variables to it, but
yeah.
I mean, I think overall like we're moving in the right direction, but it's definitely you know, sad that it has had to come at the expense of like so many incredible minds and artists and people, you know.
Yeah, I mean, so many people fucking died already, and it's so fucking sad. It is. Like, I just, honest to God, like, my whole thing is I wish there was just, like, an objective opinion on drug use, and I'm just, like, being blunt here, but I wish there was just an objective opinion on drug use. Like,
yeah.
You know, some people don't do fucking well with it, some people do. Who gives a shit? If you want to do it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
you know?
and that just goes back to that stigma. I mean, I think that I don't think that it'll ever be fully erased, but I do think like the more mental health discussions become a thing and like it becomes more you know, because psychology is like a relatively new field. Psychology is like a relatively newer field of study as opposed to like biology or whatever, you know.
Oh yeah.
But
I find it fascinating because they rarely know what the fuck they're talking about. Like no bullshit. I watched like a grip of podcasts on that shit and like have read a bit about psychology, and like there is this general consensus in that community like we don't really know what we're talking about. But we do. But we don't,
no,
know?
I mean, it's all theories, you know, because it's like based in evidence, but like it's not, a lot of it's not necessarily stuff that you can quantify, and it's based off of like, you know, studies of behavior and things like that. But the thing about psychology is because it's such a new field, I think that we are headed in the right direction, and in terms of like, you know, understanding each other better and becoming more aware as a species, you know, but like, I think, do you know what Maslow's hierarchy of needs is?
Yeah.
So, like, I think the evolution of society has, like, followed Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I feel like back in the fucking day when, like, you know, we're in caves and we're worried about a fucking tiger coming in to eat our babies, like, obviously I'm not going to be like, what's the meaning of life? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'm focused on, like, very, like, visceral, physiological needs, like food, shelter, warmth, water, you know what I mean? Like things like that. So reproduction, like shit like that. So those are like very basic human needs for the survival of our species. Yeah. And so I think that like as society has evolved and as like, you know, industrialization has happened and technology has boomed and we have like, you know, if I'm hungry, I can go down to the store and I don't have to go hunt for food and gather and like, you know, and I think that it's given us more space in our mind to be able to self-actualize and to be able to like become aware of ourselves as human beings and like understand why we do what we do and like what the reasons for things are and like why we behave the way we behave and things like that. And I think that like that's relatively recent. Like if you look at a timeline of all of humanity, it's only in the last like, you know, couple hundred years,
like
even
300 years probably.
I was gonna say like less than 300 years that like we've even really been able to like come to that point of evolution. So I think that like overall like we are headed in the right direction, but it is like an evolutionary thing, and I think it's gonna take like a lot of, you know, I don't think we'll necessarily see that fully in our lifetime, but like I'm sure that eventually we'll get to a point where it becomes destigmatized or overall destigmatized, you know?
Yeah, I like truly hope. I just hope it's like objective. That's my main shit with all this shit. You know what I mean? I'm just like, but like, what is it? You know what I mean? Like thoughts aside, feelings aside, like what is this literally? You know what I mean? And that most things in society are like, you kind of catch like, I don't know, you kind of catch like these trends of like society will swing one way or another on this and that opinion. But, like, my, like, rule of thumb is, like, okay, like, regardless of what people are saying about it, like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just, like, what's the baseline of it? Something I find really interesting. Sorry, I saw you were going somewhere.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, something I find really interesting when it comes to, like, human needs and whatnot is, I read this book by Dale Carnegie called How to Win Friends and Influence People, which sounds...
I've heard of that book, but I don't know exactly what it's about.
It's fascinating. It sounds like the most psychopath shit ever, low-key. But it is definitely...
No, I love shit like that.
It's a weird angle, but it was written in like the 30s, and it's just about like relations, human relations, HR, right?
Yeah.
So but something that is really fascinating about this shit, and this pertains to like people having more room to not have to, you know, fight fucking tigers and shit, and more room to like think about bullshit, is people will, like, in the security of like modern society, I think it was like, okay, I don't remember the exact chapter. It was either Stanford or Harvard or something like that. Major college. Did a study, and regardless of the details, you can fucking find it. It's in like the first third of the book. Regardless of the details, the result of it is that in a comfortable atmosphere, like in the comfort of modern society, people will choose to see self-importance over food, right? So there's like, they gave them two options. One was food, one was self-importance. And self-importance won like every single time.
Yeah.
Right. And that's like in a controlled environment. So pretty much the point is, and then there's another point that they make in that book, which I love so much, is that what the fuck was the gang motherfucker in Chicago that was like ran Chicago gangs forever?
I don't know. I'm not an expert on Chicago gangs.
No. He's like super famous. Anyway, someone in the comments. Someone in the comments plugged me with that. But the fuck is that famous gangster's name? Anyway, he's kind of an idiot. But on his deathbed, he said his like last quote, like his literal like last line for life was it's just a shame people didn't realize what I did for them. And like keep in mind, he had killed more people than like motherfucking Pablo Escobar at this point in time. Like he is a mob boss. But the point is that like there's two phenomenons there. People will always think that they're the good guy fundamentally, and people's need for self-importance is like more than like food.
Yeah.
You know, and that shit, I think, rings the truest to what you're talking about, to where it's like, well, if we don't have to fucking go cherry pick for food, then, like, what are you left with?
Yeah.
You know? I wasn't even going anywhere with that, but that is just the most fat. It just
I totally feel you. No, I think all that stuff is so interesting, and I think that it all kind of ties back to creativity too. I feel like understanding yourself and understanding like your ego and your relation to your ego is so important in terms of like being a creator.
Hell yeah.
Because like our ego is like run by fear, you know? So our ego is like when I'm creating from a place of ego, I'm creating from a place of fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of competition.
Yeah.
But like when I'm creating from a place of truth and authenticity and love, then I'm like, that's when my best art's gonna come out because it's real. You know, it's not like, it's not from fear, and it's not like me comparing myself to everyone else and trying to like be like somebody else or whatever, you know, like I think that it all really just boils down to self-awareness, you know, and that's why I encourage like everyone, even if they don't have like problems, everyone has problems. So like, even if like they don't think that they have problems, I think it's just important for everyone to like go on some sort of journey of self-exploration, because like, especially as a creator, like that shit is only going to help you become better and more authentic and more real, you know?
Yeah. Sense of self is a fucking fascinating thing, especially when it comes to like making art, because it's like, yeah, I was telling you like a while ago, like I always like when I'm writing some shit, it's just like if I'm saying deep down, like if I'm like ask myself why I'm writing a song and it has anything to do with they, like if they feel this way about it, or people will feel X, Y, and Z about it, it's like I just have to either fucking scrap that idea or like review why I'm writing the song and just restart that shit.
Yeah, you have to go over intention, like why, like what is my goal in writing this song? Is my goal to like feel, to make people feel what I'm feeling, to have people, to try to connect people with like who I am and what I'm feeling, or is it because I'm afraid that I'm not going to be successful? Or like, you know, and if it's based from a place of fear, it's not going to be true to you.
I was thinking that about Cardi's album, funny enough. Like, I was like, I feel like this guy was writing this because he thought that people would receive it really edgy. And, like, the thing is like, that, but that's not really, like, that's not being, like, a unit, like, a whole-ass artist. Then
I didn't hear it, honestly.
That's fine.
I haven't heard it.
I mean, it's, you know, it's not for everyone. Wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Funny enough. But, yeah, like, there's a lot of, like, really blown out, like, hardcore rap influences in it. Like, you hear a lot of influences from, like, Ghostman and, like, Suicide Boys and, like, you know.
The new Ghostman album is fucking incredible. I liked it a lot. I think it's really, really dope.
But with the Cardi thing, yeah, I feel like there was so much sense of, like, how will they feel about this when he was writing it, because it sounds like none of his other shit, you know, which can be a good and a bad thing, but it was also like, but this sounds so like nail on the head, like the idea of Cardi, like a rapper, like one of the ASAP affiliate rapper, like straight Atlanta funny ass rap, like, I don't mean funny in like a disrespectful way, but I mean like he's got like a goofy kind of thing to him, baby voice. But yeah, someone like that writing hardcore rap influence stuff, I feel like you would be like, oh well, that would be shocking to the public. And I'm like, yeah, but do you actually fuck with that? Like, because you don't seem to be doing it well, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's like, it definitely a subjective take, but it just seemed like he was writing it for the look, you know, and it felt disingenuine. Which I think with my, you know, my own stuff, writing stuff, if I land on that result where it's like, am I writing this for some sort of fucking look or like some sort of like...
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's like gonna suck.
Yeah,
honestly.
For sure. No, 100%. And I think that that's like kind of the weird line that we walk as like artists with it, have like a project and a brand and some level of consistency that we need to maintain in order to like, you know, continue to grow.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like still trying to maintain true to like us, you know?
Fuck yeah.
And it's like this weird balance that we have to strike where it's like, you know, it's like sometimes I don't want to make bass music, but I still do because I know that it's the most digestible for my project right now, you know? And it's like, I don't think that that's necessarily inauthentic, but I do think that it's like we have to strike a balance between like, you know, being aware of like why we're creating something and like do it as authentically as we can when it comes to like making a project. And like maintaining a brand and like all that shit, you know.
I like the Aphex Twin angle. I've always liked that. I don't know if that's necessarily what I do, but I admire it.
Yeah.
Because his whole thing, from my understanding, comes off to me like he just really likes fucking with synths. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it just landed where it landed. Like there wasn't much like.
No expectation.
Yeah, it was just like, you know, I'm just gonna fuck around and what happens. And he's like, dope, and then runs it and releases it. And I just love that. And like I said, it's not necessarily like what I do. There's definitely a little bit like more long-term thinking there. But I just fucking love that.
No, I love that too. And I think it's like, I like that you brought that up because I think that was definitely an era where it was easier to do that, you know? And I think that now because the industry is so oversaturated and it's so much more... it's so much easier to like become a music producer and like, you know, you don't have to have all this fancy shit and like you just like can have a laptop and like Ableton, you can fucking, you know, do it literally so easily now that I think, and it's so attainable now that I think because of that, it's become so oversaturated to where like
oversaturated.
To where like, we can't really, it's hard to be, unless you already have a platform or like you have the team behind you to push, you know, an Aphex Twin type project. Yeah. Like you have to maintain some sense of consistency until you get to a point where you can branch out. You know what I mean? And I think that like, because ultimately like people need to, if you want to build a career out of it, like people need to know like how to market you, like where to place you, like, you know what I mean? And I think that that's why it's about like finding balance between it, because that's just the nature of how the industry is right now. You know what I mean? It's like you have to like kind of play the game. We were talking about it earlier. We're like, we're trying to be authentic to ourselves, but we also, like, in certain places have to kind of sacrifice certain pieces of that authenticity in order to, like, be able to speak to the audiences and the masses that we want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. With that, like, Legacy album, there's a bit of that. Not that I was, like, compromising aesthetics, but there's, like, the reality that, like, I was like, this is gonna be a long fucking project. Like, this is gonna be a story. And so where it's like, maybe I don't feel like writing the most tragic shit I could right now. That's the time, though. Like, now is the time to do that.
Yeah.
Because I have this project that I'm working on. You know? And so I think, like, that comes in a lot of different shapes and sizes where it's just, like, tactically being creative.
Yeah.
And also, like, it always depends on the project, you know? Like, shit, or, like, the moniker and whatnot. Like, you have people like Death Grips that are, like, extremely successful, and it's all very, like, primal art where it's just, like, you're just like, go. Like, what do you got? You know what I mean? Ooh, what do we got? Your file history drive. I don't know what the fuck that means. Anyway.
It was a red message. It looked important.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. This is... No, I mean, we're good. I don't know what the fuck that was, though. Concerning. I mean, yeah, it's still recording, though. Yeah, no, but I don't know. I think, like, in some cases, it circles back around to where it's, like, you can, like, choose the impulse until, like, that is your thing.
Yeah.
You know? That necessarily, like, hadn't worked for me, but, like, I don't know. I feel like at some point in time with my stuff, I'm just gonna, like, say fuck it and just be all over the map. But.
Yeah, and I definitely want to do that, too. I just know that at this point in my career, like, at this size, like, I need to maintain some semblance of consistency. Just because I want to be playing festivals, I want to be, like, doing, you know, I want to be playing shows and shit, and people need to know where to put me, you know what I mean? Because I'm not a big enough of an artist yet to where people can just, like, it's like my own thing, you know what I mean? And, like, eventually I will 100% be able to, like, you know, put on my own entire production and show and thing like and shit like that, to where it's like I curate the artists that are there and it's like my own vibe, you know what I mean? But, like, as of right now, like, I think in the beginning it's definitely important to, like, try to maintain some semblance of consistency. And that doesn't mean, like, doing the same thing over and over again. It just means, like, having some sort of common denominator between the things that you're doing so that people can understand you and, like, you know, get to know you as an artist, you know?
100%. I definitely know what you're saying. I mean, and that's, like, the thing. There's, like, a lot of projects that are just so incredible like that. You know, like, I mean, G. Jones is, like,
he's amazing.
Example.
Yeah.
It's just like that, like, he's been G. Jones from day one, and that's like that project is a fucking project,
right?
You know, any of the, like, major dudes like that, like, guys and gals, that was fucked up. But any of the major artists like that, you know, I mean, fucking Sophie, R.I.P.
I know.
She, for instance, like, her shit was fucking
she was fucking incredible.
It was, the idea was so concise, and the fucking execution was so concise. Is great. That's like Arca too. That's actually I don't know if you listen to Arca. Love Arca.
I don't think so.
Yo, you're about to
I don't think so.
You need to put on. That's some shit. Yeah. But with that being said, I have to pee super bad. So I think this is a great time to wrap this.
Okay, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
All right, dude.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Do you have anything you want to end on? Go listen to her EP on Mousetrap.
Yeah, go listen to my EP on Mousetrap. It comes out February 19th. And wash your hands and make good choices.
Oh, yeah. Fun fact. Sav is vaccinated, and I got tested 2 days ago. So.
Yeah, I'm vaccinated, bitches.
That's some gangster shit. Anyway. Oh, yeah. See you on the other side, folks.